Dragonites, welcome to WIP and Chat number 3. I think we're on. Are we on 3, you guys? I think we're on 3. Wow. It has been such a month already. I just can't even tell you. I want to thank all of you for showing me some grace yesterday, not being able to get this out to you. Just to summarize and not go into a bunch of detail, basically because of a screw up in our mail order pharmacy and our postal service, I went without pain medicine, which I take twice a day, for more than a week. And yeah, I was not fit to speak or be seen by man or beast. So thank you for letting me take yesterday to kind of try to recoup. I now have it. It arrived yesterday, so I'm headed back to workable, I think. I'll let you know, but I think so. Okay, so all of that aside, how's everybody doing? You made it to another weekend. This is a good thing. I'm really glad everybody made it in one piece. I'm telling you guys, some weeks it's harder to do that than other weeks. You know what I mean? Like, it's craziness to me. I'm going to be working in this section here, which I'm sorry to say is not a very interesting section for you guys, but you know, you got to do them all, right? So that's the plan, is I'm going to be working right here. And we are going to talk about wolves this time, because as you might recall, last week we talked about the moon. We learned some stuff about the moon that was kind of interesting. So we're going to talk about some wolfy things this time. And hopefully we'll get through all of them. If not, I will add them on to next week's fourth and final WIP and Chat. So we're just gonna, mosey along and try to get as much accomplished as we can. I hope you guys, I don't know if you can hear that ambulance or not, but we got sirens going on. Okay, they've stopped. Sorry about that. So we're going to talk about some very cool things when it comes to wolves. We're going to talk about the wolves, some of the more famous wolves of legend. Then we're going to discuss a little more in-depth on some of them. We're going to talk about where they fit in society, how, why, etc. And, hopefully learn some stuff, also. For those of you that, need this information, I'm going to be pulling information from Google, Factsy, F-A-C-T-Y, facty.com, and Living Science. So if you need to check me on anything, feel free, because, yeah, just do it. So that's what's going to happen. Now, please stay tuned. At the end of the WIP and Chat, I will put the prize drawing up and running so that you can all see how that goes and who wins and all of that legitimately, so that there's hopefully, no question in your mind. It's always random. And I think it should be that way. Thank you for everybody who followed the instructions and posted your canvas in the week 3 section of the Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 Facebook page. That was much easier for me to pull that information from there. And I think all but 3 of you are eligible for the prize wheel. So good job on all of you guys. Woohoo! Way to go, Dragonites. All right. What else? Is there anything else that's super important that I wanted to go over with you guys, housekeeping wise? Let me talk a little bit about what's going to happen next week, because next week is our short week because it's holiday. So what we're going to do is I will do my very best to get the WIP and Chat up by by late afternoon or early evening on Black Friday, so that, when you're all exhausted and you've done your shopping and your head hurts and your bank account is empty, you can just come sit back and, be part of the WIP and Chat. During that WIP and Chat, I will be letting you know when I'm going to need your final pics of your canvas. Those of you that want to be in the WIP parade at the end can get them to me. I'm going to say probably, let's see. I'm going to say I'm going to need to have your information by, you know, your calendar always works except when you want it to work. So annoying. Okay. Let's see. So, let's see, the 27th. So, we'll just make it the 30th of November. That is the last day of November. Now, also in that week, I will be doing a kickoff video for next month's Our Better Angels Have a Fairy Happy Holiday event. So all of that's going to have to sort of overrun each other, excuse me, a little bit. So what I will do is I'll collect all of your final picks by November 30th by 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I will be generating the WIP parade, the final WIP parade for that, while still doing the kickoff and getting December's event started. So what you can do to help me with that is please have the picture to me by 5 p.m. November 30th. If you're going to give it to me December 1st, I'm sorry, I can't. That's not going to work because I'm going to be doing the other event. This is the drawback of having back-to-back events, which wasn't my original plan. It just worked out that way. So what I am going to be doing, since I'm going to be wrapping up one and starting another, is the cutoffs are going to be absolutely non-negotiable because I need to be able to finish one while the other one's running. So those of you that want to be in the WIP parade, the final WIP parade for Luna and Lycans, I need your final picture. It doesn't have to be completely finished. Wherever you are by 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on November 30th, take a picture, shoot it over to me, and we'll just put it in and it'll be fine. If you do not want to have your canvas in the final WIP parade, entirely up to you, but please let me know so I don't have to come running after you going, do you have it? Because that is so maddening to me. I go out of my way as much as possible to tell you guys exactly when things have to go and plenty of time and notice so, you know, we don't have to run over each other. So, yeah, just let me know if you're like, you know, I don't want to be in the WIP parade. Okay, that's completely fine. I will 100% respect your wishes. I just need to know what your wishes are, okay? So that's what's going to be happening. So it's going to be kind of a little bit of a hectic week because we're going to have Thanksgiving, you know, and the long weekend and family and food and everything and turkey comas and the whole 9 yards. And we're going to be wrapping up this event and starting the new one. So it's going to be fun. It's just going to be a little complicated there for, you know, a few days. So pictures to me for Luna and Lycan's final WIP parade by November 30th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you went, oh, I forgot to sign up for Our Better Angels, do that immediately, please. And I'll get your name on the list and then you can get me your picture as soon as you can. But that's not as earth-shatteringly important as getting on the list. Technically, you have until the 25th. What's today? The 22nd. So really, you have 3 more days if you want to sign up for next month's event. So sorry guys, I'm just loading my pen while I'm talking to you. So yeah, go ahead and get signed up. And I did get the email, Miss Zuniga, you are on the list for next month's event. I love your canvas. It's very, very pretty. So yeah, because I want you guys to enjoy your holiday and you know, have so much fun and you know, just really enjoy your family and your friends. So I don't want to be a pain in the behind, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to remind you like I usually do. So please get those 2 things done. Sign up for Our Better Angels and remember to send your photo by November 30th, 5 p.m. for Luna and Lycans. And we will move into December. Can you guys believe this year is coming to a close already? I know, it's nuts. I don't know. Don't ask me how that happened. I don't know. Seems like every year it goes just a little bit faster. Might be my age, but that's how it feels. So, yeah, that's the skinny of what's happening around here. So, let me know if you have questions or concerns, or something's not clear. In the community post section, the requirements for all events that I host are in its own post, and you'll see it, as well as the events for next year, which in December I will talk with you about what's going to be going on more for 2026. Okay? All right. So I think that wraps up all of the, I hope that wraps up all of the information that I wanted to share with you. And I hope it was clear. Again, I've been a little under the weather, so if I'm not coherent, I apologize. Leave me a comment and let me know if there's something you need me to explain more. My emails and my Instagram are always in the description box of every video. So, yep, you can utilize that to get a hold of me as well. Okay, all right, everybody. Again, WIP and Chat number 3, the prize drawing video I will be tacking on to the end of this one. So stay tuned when we're finished here so that you can see who's going to win the prizes. In the video, I will also be showing you in more detail what the prizes are. I've decided to actually do 3 names because this beautiful t-shirt that Dragonite Missy Nelson donated to us, it's so beautiful. I want to give that as a separate gift because it's just gorgeous. So it's going to be its own spin. Okay. So there will be 3 prizes all together. And we are just going to go ahead and do that. All right. So we're going to, again, discuss wolves, all kinds of wolves, but wolves. So first we're going to talk about the wolves of legend, okay? Because, yeah, that's where most of us, I think, find out about them first, is in the stories and tales that, talk about them. Okay, wolves of legend refer to famous mythical wolves like Fenrir from Norse mythology, the she-wolf Lupersa, who raised Romulus and Remus, and the metaphorical 2 wolves in a Native American legend representing good and evil. These legends highlight wolves as symbols of both destructive chaos and protective, wise spirits across various cultures. And I will talk to you a little more in depth about the Native American legend. I'm going to read it to you, what is always published, and talk to you a little bit more about it. But when we get to the next phase, after we go over these items that I was just giving the overview on. Okay. Famous mythological wolves. Fenrir, Fenrir, is from Norse mythology, is a colossal wolf, son of Loki, destined to fight and kill Odin during Ragnarok, the end of the world. Do you guys feel like you just slipped into a Marvel movie? I know. I did too when I first saw it. Okay. Let's see. Luperca, Luperca, might be Luperca. Doesn't tell me, so there's no punctuation or anything. So we're going to stick with Luperca, the she-wolf who found and nursed the abandoned twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, who went on to become the co-founders of Rome. Geri and Freki, Geri and Freki, also from Norse mythology. Odin's 2 wolves, which represent loyalty and protection, as Odin always shares his food with the 2 wolves. Skoll, Skoll, with the, I can't remember the name of the punctuation, the 2 dots above the O. And Hati, Hati, also from Norse mythology. 2 wolves who are destined to chase the sun and the moon across the sky. So that's how the Norse people explained how, the sun came up and then it was replaced by the moon. Obviously, the 2 wolves chased them where they had to be. So there you go. Okay. La Loba, Mexican and southwestern U.S. folklore. The wolf woman, quote unquote, who collects and reforms wolf bones, seen as a symbol of feminine wisdom and rebirth. So that's an interesting one. I had not heard of that one, but I think it would be fun to find out more about that. It's an interesting way to, I don't know, explain wolf bones. I don't know. Okay, the symbolic meanings. Destruction and chaos. Fenrir is a prime example of a destructive force that is both feared and part of a larger cosmic order. Loyalty and protection. Jerry and Freki demonstrate the positive aspects of wolves as loyal companions. Odin's care for them also symbolizes the importance of caring for others. Okay. Rebirth and wisdom. La Loba represents the power of restoration and an intuitive ancient wisdom. Inner conflict. The Native American legend of the two wolves, one good, one evil, illustrates the constant internal struggle between positive and negative emotions within a person. The outcome depends on which wolf one feeds with their actions and focus. Okay, so I'm going to spend just a little extra minute and give you what the legend. The thing is, when you hear about the Native American legend, they summarize it. They don't give you the whole thing, but I think for our purposes it's enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and, tell you what the legend is. And you can let me know in the comment sections, your thought on it. Yeah, so we'll start with that. So I will read it to you and can let me know what you think about it. Okay, so here it is. The Tale of Two Wolves. One evening, an old Native American told his grandson about a battle that goes on inside people. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves inside us all. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." The grandson thought about it for a few minutes and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The old Native American simply replied, "The one you feed." So that's the version that is out most of the time. So we're going to run with it. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, he's trying to explain that the two wolves are in everybody. And so whichever one that you feed with your thoughts and your actions and your words is the one that's going to win and determine your personality. So, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's true? I think, those of us who grew up being taught the golden rule, treat others the way you'd like to be treated kind of thing. I think that we had kind of that as a basis for that information that, that and what goes around comes around. And, if, if you don't do good deeds and you do harsh things, I don't know, somebody's keeping score somewhere and, it, might end badly for you, that kind of thing. That went around a lot when I was a kid. So, yeah, so I'm interested in hearing how you feel about it. Do you have two wolves in you? Do you have an inner battle? Do you have good and evil? And if so, are you always mindful of the other one? Because the rest of that story that they don't usually put, because it's not the Walt Disney ending that they want to believe it is. The rest of that is that really the grandfather said, when the grandson asked, well, which one will win? And he said, whichever one you feed. And then the grandson said, well, you know, which one should I feed, you know, most of the time. Really, he was told that you need to feed them both, because if you don't, then they become out of balance and one can take over at any time, and you may, you know, be consumed by that one and end up being a person that, you know, you don't recognize and that nobody wants to be around. Again, I'm summarizing because it's much longer if you go with the full narration. So, which to me seems a little more practical, which is, you know, you have to, if you want to be the good wolf and you want to be benevolent and you want to be a good human being and, you know, use all of the kindness and compassion and all the other virtues that they talk about, then you need to keep the other one in check, because you're still a human being and you're still prone to all of the things that the quote unquote evil wolf represents. So, I kind of wish they would give the entire story, although I understand the editing for, you know, time and material, but it would be nice if, you know, they spent some time talking more about it, because the reality is all human beings have the potential to go one way or the other, because we all are designed with emotional red lines, let's call it. And so if something happens, that switch can be flipped really quick, which is a little scary when you think about it, because, you know, you never know, or you might think that you won't. But I know, because I know, you know, if somebody comes at me or tries to hurt me, yeah, I'm not going to like it, and I'm going to try to run or get away or fight or whatever I have to do. But if you come after my children or my grandchildren or somebody I love, oh, yeah, I will end you, and it will not even cross my mind. Whereas if somebody's threatening me, I would have a hard time taking another person's life, because that is just, it's such a huge thing to me, which is why it's mind-boggling to me that serial killers exist, because I can't even fathom that. To end a person's life, like their whole life, is such a huge thing to me. So yeah, I just can't quite woo. But if I think about it again, where somebody comes after my child or my grandchild, oh yeah, I get it. I really do get it. So, you know, like I said, I do think both of these wolves reside in both of us, or in all of us, both of them in all of us. And so you have to really think about, you know, how, if you want to be one, how do you keep the other in check? And what do you do? Because some of those traits you might need. Sometimes self-protection requires some of those things, but in balance, right? So that it never fully takes over. So, a little something for you to think about. So let me know in the comment section, what are your thoughts on it? Okay, we're going to move along now to the Egyptian folklore. And we're going to talk about the Egyptian god Wepwawet. It's Wepwawet. I don't know if it's Wepwawet. I'm just going to say Wepwawet, because otherwise I'm going to be saying weird things. Okay, so here's this overview. The main Egyptian quote-unquote wolf god is Wepwawet, who is known as the opener of the ways, quote-unquote, and was a deity of war, royalty, and funerary rites. Though sometimes depicted as a jackal, he is more often shown as a wolf or a man with a wolf's head, particularly a gray or white one. Oh, hang on, guys. All right, sorry about that, Dragonites. A little someone at the door. Okay, so let's try this again. So we were discussing the Egyptian god Wepwawet. Okay. Though sometimes depicted as a jackal, he is more often shown as a wolf or a man with a wolf's head, particularly a gray or white one. While Anubis is the more famous jackal-headed god, Wepwawet is the one most specifically associated with wolves. Name and function. Okay, let's see. His name means opener of the ways, quote unquote, and he was a pathfinder for the Pharaoh, the army, and souls in the afterlife. He was also associated with warfare and the royal power of the living ruler. Depiction, typically shown as a wolf or man with a wolf's head, often gray or white. He was also depicted standing on the prow of a solar boat. His primary cult center was Asyut, A-S-Y-U-T, which was known as Lycopolis, or City of the Wolf, in the Greco-Roman period. His relationship with Anubis. Wepwawet and Anubis share similarities as canine-headed gods and are both associated with funerary rites. However, Wepwawet is distinctly tied to warfare in the military, while Anubis is more focused on, let's see, the protection of graves and guiding the dead through the underworld. Over time, Anubis absorbed some of Wepwawet's funerary roles as the Osiris cult grew in popularity. So we know that now, don't we? Yes, we do. Okay. Let's see. All right. So now we can talk about what is a dire wolf. Now, if any of you play Dungeons and Dragons, or if any of you watch Game of Thrones, you're already familiar with dire wolves. So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about what they are or what they were. Okay. So, what is a dire wolf? Dire wolf facts. If you've been a fan of the fantasy genre for any amount of time, chances are you're at least familiar with the dire wolf. Dire wolves frequently show up in fantasy stories such as Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, and Prophecy of Swords by M.H. Bonham. But you may be wondering if dire wolves were real or not. Dire wolves actually did exist in the past. They're now extinct, but they capture our imaginations even now. When did dire wolves live? When do you guys think they were actually in existence? Yeah, just take a guess. You can let me know in the comments whether or not you got it right or how far off you are. Yeah, just think about it. When do you think dire wolves actually were in existence? Okay. The first thing you may be wondering is when the dire wolf actually existed. These wolves died out about 9,000 years ago, and they lived in the late Pleistocene to the early Holocene, which is from 125,000 years ago to 9,000 years ago. They lived in North America and died out during or not long after the American megafaunal extinction event. What exactly were dire wolves? Dire wolves get their name from the Latin classification of Canis dirus, meaning fearsome dog. These wolves were top predators along with saber-toothed cats during the late Pleistocene. They were bigger than modern wolves and much stouter, built for attacking and killing megafauna such as mastodons, bison, horses, camels, and other Pleistocene animals. Unlike fantasy depictions, they did not have saber teeth and were not as large as horses. So there you go. So they were here and they were big and they had a pretty good bite, but yeah, no saber teeth. None of that silliness going on. So yeah, interesting, right? I know. Okay, now then. How big were dire wolves? Dire wolves were the largest canine predators ever in existence. Unlike the Game of Thrones pony-sized wolves, these wolves averaged about the same height and length or a little bigger as some of the biggest wolves in now existence. The northwestern wolf and the Yukon wolf, which stand at more than 3 feet tall at the shoulder and almost 6 feet in length, are only slightly smaller than the biggest of the dire wolves. Dire wolves were generally more massive than modern-day wolves, on average around 150 pounds. So that's a good-sized canine, let's just say that. Okay, did modern wolves and dogs come from dire wolves? Since dire wolves are extinct, you may wonder if modern day dogs and wolves evolved from dire wolves. Although it's an exciting concept, it's currently believed that the dire wolf is only a distant cousin of today's modern wolf, Canis lupus, and the wolf's descendants, Canis lupus familiaris, or the dog. The dire wolf was not a direct ancestor. Okay. So, get a couple of drills on here and we will go from there. Okay, so, oops. Were there more than one type of dire wolf? What do you guys think? Were there more than one type? Or do you think it was one and done? We will read on and we will find out the answer to that question. Okay. Dire wolves were plentiful in America, so abundant that there were at least 2 subspecies of dire wolves in existence, Canis dirus dirus and Canis dirus gildii. Canis dirus dirus weighed about 150 pounds on average, and Canis dirus gildii, Guildii, whatever, was slightly smaller at 132 pounds on average. Canis dirus dirus lived east of the Continental Divide and had comparatively shorter teeth and longer legs. Canis dirus gildii had longer teeth and shorter legs and lived primarily in California and Mexico. Okay, were dire wolves' bites powerful? Dire wolves had to deal with holding on to some seriously big and bad megafauna. In order to do this, they had to have teeth that could grasp and hold on to their prey. It's been calculated that the dire wolf had a bite that was 129% more powerful than today's modern wolves. Imagine that. Per square inch, that's quite a bit of power, for sure. Okay. What did dire wolves primarily eat? Although mastodons, giant ground sloths, camels, and other species were on the menu, dire wolves usually ate bison or horses. About half their diet was bison and the other half was horses, but given they were most likely opportunistic, they probably would eat other animals if they presented themselves. Dire wolves most likely hunted in packs to kill their prey. You wouldn't think they would have to with their size advantage, but yeah, you know, that was an era where everything had a size advantage, right? So that's, you know, who would want to go up against a woolly mammoth? No, thank you very much. Okay. So imagine if your dog weighed, you know, 150 pounds, 132 pounds. Oh my gosh. My Chihuahua is 4.9 pounds. I can't even fathom. Okay. Let's see. Where can I see dire wolf skeletons? If you live in Southern California, you know, near me, we're neighbors, you're smack dab in Dire Wolf Central. The Page Museum and the La Brea Tar Pits has more than 400 dire wolf skulls. If you can't get there, most museums of natural history that will have fossils of a complete dire wolf skeleton. So how cool is that? If you ever do get a chance to come to Southern California and, you know, you're just sightseeing or whatever, really the La Brea Tar Pits are fascinating. They have, you know, dinosaur skeletons and just, it's the coolest thing. It's a capital L-A, capital B-R-E-A, Tar Pits. If you know, you can even look it up, but they're really cool. They found a lot of dinosaur fossils in that area. So yeah, they've got some really cool stuff to look at. Okay. Why are there so many dire wolf skulls at La Brea Tar Pits? The La Brea Tar Pits was a natural predator trap that lured unsuspecting dire wolves and saber-toothed cats to their deaths. Herbivores, probably looking for a drink of water, would become trapped in the tar that is estimated to be up to 75 feet deep in spots. The thrashing animal would alert hungry predators, who would then go into the tar pits to get an easy meal, but the predators, in turn, got trapped. About 90% of the animals found at the site are predators. So that's interesting too. Okay, and lastly, why did the dire wolf go extinct? Dire wolves went extinct when the megafauna, that's megafauna, megafauna, went extinct. Perhaps without enough food to support them, they were unable to survive in what had to be a changing environment. Some experts believe that climate change was a factor, and other experts believe that the extinction might have been due to the arrival of a top new predator: humans. Okay, so you guys with me so far? We've talked about the Egyptian god with the association to wolves. We talked about some Norse wolf legends. We talked about dire wolves, and now werewolves. Woohoo! We are going to talk about some werewolves. Okay. So we will get on with that. All right. Werewolves, lore, legend, and lycanthropy. Now you know why this is Luna and Lycans, for those of you that were wondering. Lycanthropy is the study of wolves. Okay. Werewolves, literally quote-unquote man-wolves, are shape-shifting creatures with unusual speed, strength, reflexes, and senses. They can be found in countless books, films, and television shows, from the horror classic The Wolfman to the Twilight and Underworld series. Though werewolves often play second fiddle to vampires and zombies in terms of pop culture man monsters, they have a long and rich history. Traditionally, there were several ways that a person could become a werewolf. We've probably all seen the movies, right? Or at least know of them, right? Okay. So, please right here. Hang on, had to make a diamond painting decision on the fly here. Hold on one second, guys. I promise that I will continue to read. Hold on. All right. I think we're back on schedule, more or less. Okay. In her book, Giants, Monsters, and Dragons, folklorist Carol Rose, oh, I need that book, notes that in ancient Greece, it was believed that a person could be transformed by eating the meat of a wolf that had been mixed with that of a human, and that the condition was irreversible. Centuries later, other methods were said to create werewolves, including being cursed, or by being conceived under a new moon, or by having eaten certain herbs, or by sleeping under the full moon on a Friday, or by drinking water that has been touched by a wolf. It was also widely believed that werewolves couldn't dress in a special, or could dress in a special protective wolf skin, though they had to remove it at daybreak and hide it. If their magical pelt was found and taken from the werewolf in human form, he or she could be killed. A similar theme appears in the Scottish and Irish folklore of the Selkies, creatures who spend their lives in the cold ocean as seals, but can change into human form by shedding their pelts. If they do so, they must hide their pelts, for if they are found, they can't change back into seals and must live on land with the fishermen who possess their skins. Okay. So, all right. Though the full moon was originally only one of many possible causes of lycanthropy, it was the one that stuck in the public's mind. Today, many people still associate the moon with werewolves and madness. Some who work in police and emergency medical services have anecdotally claimed that full moon nights are busier, crazier, and more dangerous than other nights. This perception may be rooted more in psychology and imagination than in reality. Carefully controlled studies have not found good evidence supporting this idea. Furthermore, there is no known mechanism by which the moon would somehow influence a person's mind to make him or her more dangerous, except, of course, for their own imaginations and expectations. Now, real quote-unquote werewolves. Today, werewolves are known to be mythical creatures found in fiction instead of lurking in the dark woods. But that was not always the case. Not so long ago, belief in werewolves was common. Overall, there was little difference between the killings and activities of wolves and werewolves. Both would hunt at night, attacking sheep or livestock, and sometimes humans. The main difference was, of course, that the werewolf changed into human form at some point. There are several mechanisms. Oh, hang on. Okay. Oh, sorry. There are several medical conditions that can mimic the appearance of a werewolf and may have contributed to early belief in the literal existence of the creatures. One is hypertrichosis, which creates unusually long hair on the face and body. A second condition, called porphyria, is characterized by extreme sensitivity to light, thus encouraging its victims to only go out at night. Seizures, anxiety, and other symptoms. Neither of these rare conditions turns anyone into a werewolf, of course, but centuries ago, when belief in witches, vampires, and magic was common, it didn't take much to spawn werewolf stories. Clinical lycanthropy is a recognized medical condition in which a person believes himself or herself to be an animal, and indeed there are rare cases where people have claimed to be werewolves. For example, in 1589, a German man named Peter Stubb, S-T-U-B-B-E, claimed to own a belt of wolf. Sorry guys, an alarm went off for me. Let's see. Wolfskin that allowed him to change into a wolf. His body would bend into a lupine form, his teeth would multiply in his mouth, and he craved human blood. Stubb claimed to have killed at least a dozen people over 25 years, though his confession was made under difficult circumstances. After prolonged torture, including chunks of his flesh being ripped out with heated pincers, ow, and his limbs being crushed with stones, he was decapitated on Halloween 1589 and his headless body burned at the stake. There was no real evidence of his crimes other than his confession, and it seems likely that Stubb was mentally ill and delusional. Which is very sad to know that even with that kind of disorder, they still decided, nope, off with his head. He's too scary to have out here. So, okay then. Stubb was far from alone. In the Middle Ages, werewolves were thought to mostly be created by witches, and the two became closely associated. Just as tens of thousands of accused witches were put to death, usually in gruesome and sadistic ways, tens of thousands of accused werewolves were similarly dispatched. Because lycanthropy was seen as a curse, werewolves were often thought of as victims as much as villains. The transformation from man to wolf was said to be torturous. Recall such scenes in the film American Werewolf in London. And many sought cures for real and imagined symptoms. Traditionally, there are three principal ways in which a werewolf can be scourged of his demons, writes Ian Woodward in The Werewolf Delusion. He may be cured medicinally and surgically. He may be exorcised, and, the most dramatic, he may be shot with a silver bullet. When the medicinal and surgical cures were attempted, they involved lots of bloodletting, vomiting, and vinegar drinking. In fact, Woodward notes, so severe, so brutal were the curses advocated by early medical practitioners that, not surprisingly, a great many werewolfic patients died by the hands of those who promised them salvation. That's very sad, too. While werewolves are the best known shapeshifters, they're not the only were-animals said to exist around the world. Others include were-foxes, were-dogs, were-tigers, were-snakes, were-hares, were-bears, and even were-crocodiles. Of course, wolves are more threatening than dogs and foxes. There's a reason why most werewolf films are scary, and Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit was a comedy. Like vampires, werewolves have been around for millennia, and nothing short of a silver bullet is likely to stop it from being around a millennia more. And this is from an article by Benjamin Radford for Live Science. So you can look it up if you want to indulge more in the story of, werewolves by this man. And so that is what I have today for you on the subject of werewolves. Well, wolves in general, and some of the wolves of legend. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you have wolf stories that you've encountered in your life. Have you come upon one, intentionally or by accident? Do you know people that have wolf dog hybrids? What is your interaction? Did you decide Red Riding Hood was enough for you and you never wanted to even think about seeing or having anything to do with another wolf ever? Like, where are you with the whole wolf thing? I do have to say that some of you have, well, really all of you, have some beautiful wolf canvases that you've been doing for this event. Wow, are they nice. So awesome to look at. I've been enjoying watching all your canvases come to life because they are so incredibly beautiful. So, yeah. Sorry there's a little bit of an interruption today, people. It's because it's Saturday, which is why I tried to do the WIP and chats during the week. There's just too much activity around for Saturdays. People are coming and going. Car doors are constantly slamming. Dogs are constantly barking. It's just a lot. So I apologize that there were so many interruptions. All right, I'm not going to hold you much longer because I have been chewing your ear off for quite a while now. But I do want to say, don't forget, if you want to sign up for next month's event, which will be Our Better Angels, or have a Fae Happy Holiday, any Fae creature or angel with wings, anything with wings, is perfectly eligible for next month. And then next month, there will be a prize, a couple of prizes with next month's events. One of which is I will be giving away a Diamond Dots canvas of 3 Egyptian pharaohs, in case you want to be in the Walk Like an Egyptian event in April that I'll be hosting, and you don't yet have a canvas. So there's that possibility. So that will be one. I also have another Diamond Dots canvas that is a Fae creature as well. So we will be on theme. Anyway, that's what's going to be happening. So do sign up if you have not. If you're not sure if you've signed up, I'll tell you who I have as signed up so that, you'll know whether or not you are on the list. Okay, so on the list already for Our Better Angels next month is Margie Grice, Crafty Chef Diamond, Nuck and Futz, Mike Weeks, Diamond Art Joy, Joanne Arnold, Scarlett's Little Crafty Corner, Snuggy's Crafting Corner, True Vampire Crafts, Guyleen Harold, Jennifer Parker, Roxanne Samuscott, Marianne Hodges, Matt Smarachek, Missy Nelson, Sugar Ray Crafts, Kathy Reynolds, Cubic Z Painter, Corinne Richardson, Master of Jedi, and Kayla Zuniga. So those are the people currently already signed up. So let me know if you would like to participate in that. So, all right, everybody. In the meantime, have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope that you get to spend it with people that you love. I am grateful this year for all of you. My new subbies, welcome aboard. Welcome to the Diamonds and Stuff family. We're glad you're here. Tried and true Dragonites, I adore you all. Thank you for your comments. You're always, your words of encouragement. I've been so thankful. I seem to only draw the good people, and I'm really thankful for that because, you know, you guys are all great. I brag on you all the time and will continue to do so because you guys are the great people. I think in the, also, November is my 2-year anniversary on YouTube. So woohoo, the channel's 2 years old. We are currently a little over 1,600 subs. So give yourselves a hand because you guys are awesome. So yeah, didn't expect to ever get to this point, but you know, you guys are so much fun to be around that I love interacting with all of you. So thank you very much for being here and for keeping the channel going. I'm glad to see that you're enjoying the Facebook group. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, there's a link in the description box. Please join. It's an open group, so you can post any kind of artwork you want to post. Anything that you want to do is completely fine. Doesn't have to be on theme. Anything that you want to share, you can share at any time. There are 2 other admins besides me. If anybody pops in there and sees a troll, please let one of us know so that we can remove them expeditiously. And yeah, so thank you to all of you for making the channel so much fun to have. I'm also thinking about the possibility of monetizing. I have not up to this point. And I don't know if I'm going to do that. I feel like, you know, there's a lot of extra scrutiny that happens when you're monetized. YouTube really puts you on their radar. So I've kind of enjoyed sort of, you know, just doing my thing over here in the shadows and, you know, nobody being the wiser. So I don't know if I want to give that up. So anyway, let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think? You think I should do it? Or alternatively, I mean, do you think I should just, you know, get one of those little, you know, cash apps or something for those of you that would like to support the channel? I don't know. You tell me what you think is you know, best option, or what would you do in that situation? I always enjoy, you know, reading what the Dragonites have to say because, you know, you guys are the cream of the crop. You're all very intelligent, and you know, you're funny, and you have great ideas, and you know, I love hearing what you have to say. So let me know. That's a lot to put in the comment section, but go for it. Yes, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you, really and truly. Extra thankful this year for all of you. So remember, always be a dragon. Spread your wings. Protect those you love. Have fiery passion. Stay strong, slay your fears, and always fly high, rise up, and soar. All right, my Dragonites, enjoy the prize drawing. It's coming up right now. Have a wonderful rest of the week and a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I will try to have the last WIP and Chat up by the end of days on Black Friday. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Hugs to everybody. Enjoy the drawing. Hello, Dragonites. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the prize drawing. Okay, let me explain what's going to be happening now. So, the first one that we're going to do is going to be for this adorable Fia au Ballon. If I can get the picture in frame, canvas from Oraloa with the cute girl with the balloons and the big moon in the background, very on theme. You're going to get a set of cards with a wolf theme. You're also going to get 2 beautiful Luna and Lycans events promotional pens, diamond painting pens. There will be additional tips in here also to change out if you want to use them for multi-placing, you can. Those will be in this set. And you will also get a 2026 desk calendar, also on theme. There it is. It's a tear off variety, so you just tear off the months as needed. When you get it, if you just open it up at the bottom and just push down the little point in there, you will notice that it will stand up. So that's all you have to do if, you know, you happen to be the winner. Okay, so you're gonna get all this. Oh, and I didn't get, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get out the, the cover minders that I made. The little moon with the face in it cover reminders that I showed at the, I think it was at the kickoff video. Anyway, I will get those. They will also be here. Those are made out of air-dried clay, and they are covered in resin. The magnets are already attached. So, you know, they should be fairly hardy. Just, you know, go easy because, yeah, you don't want them clanking around with a bunch of other things, okay? All right, the next grouping will be green set of cards, green set of diamond painting pens for the Luna and Lycans event. You will also get the 2026 desk calendar made by yours truly. And then you will also receive this particular canvas from Amazon. I'll show you the picture on this side. This is a beautiful canvas. It's so pretty. It's got 24 colors. It's a 30 by 40 and it's just beautiful. I love the flowers hanging in the whole thing. Yeah. Oh, yes. So all of those are going to be there. And then the third person is going to win this magnificent t-shirt that was donated by Dragonite Missy Nelson. I love this shirt. It says, if you can read this, I was forced to put my diamonds down and re-enter society. Isn't this the greatest shirt? There's either a large or an extra large. Those are the sizes. So if you are the winner of this shirt, you let me know which one you want me to send, okay? In addition to these items, there will be some little trinkety type items from me specifically, and those will be a surprise. You'll see when you get them. Okay. All right. So if you turned in your week 3 progress or completed your canvas, your name is on the wheel. So just so we don't have anything, you know, that isn't supposed to be happening here, let me tell you who is on this wheel in case everybody's wondering. Margie Grice, Crafty Chef Diamond, Nuck and Futz, Mike Weeks, Diamond Artjoy, Joanne Arnold, Scarlett's Little Crafting Corner, True Vampire Crafts, Diamond Painting with Jack, Jennifer Parker, Roxanne Samuscott, Matt Smarachek, Missy Nelson, Sugar Ray Crafts, Master of Jedi, Sedona LeBlanc, Kathy Reynolds, Cubic Z Painter, Corinne Richardson, Pamela Headings, Judy Pina, Kayleen Platt, Linda Kendall, Marianne Hodges, Margaret Mull, Maddie Moxley, Joanna Jopek, and Brina Ham. All of you are officially on the prize wheel. Okay, so again, the first items will be with the Oraloa canvas. The second grouping will be the Amazon canvas with other items. And then the third one will be the t-shirt, the diamond painting t-shirt. Okay, everybody, good luck to everyone. You're all so deserving of it. I wish I had something for everyone. Okay, I'm going to bring you down here just a little bit more so that you guys can hopefully see, sort of, with the glare. Okay. All right, everybody, good luck. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Margie Grice, look at you. You won the Oraloa canvas and items. So that will be coming your way. Congratulations, Margie. Good job. All right. Now, Margie's name has been removed. Now, this is for the second set with the wolf canvas and the diamond painting pens and cards and calendar. All right, everybody. Good luck. Mike Weeks, congratulations, Mike. Good on you. All right. You are the winner of the second set of items. Congratulations, Mike. All right. And last but not least, this is for the diamond painting t-shirt. Let's see who it's going to be. Ta-da! Roxanne Samuscott. Roxanne, what's going on, girl? This is like the third time you've won. I think you need to go buy a lottery ticket because this is craziness. All right, you can let me know if you would like me to send you the large or the extra large, and I will get that out to you. So congratulations to Roxanne, Mike, and Margie. I will let you all know. I will send you an email with tracking information when these go out to you. Congratulations, everyone. I hope you have been enjoying this event. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye, Dragonites.